Hello, welcome to the Cardboard Dungeon. My name is Pat, and in this video I'm looking at the Stormtroopers expansion pack for Star Wars Legion from Fantasy Flight Games. Now what you get in this expansion pack are 7 Stormtrooper minis. You get the leader who has the pauldron and he's pointing. You get 4 standard Stormtroopers, and then you get 2 heavy weapon Stormtroopers who are carrying the weapons that you get upgrades to attach to the unit in this expansion. So one thing I think is really cool about Legion is that these trooper units, each model is posed differently, which is very cool. Fantasy Flight could have taken the easy route and just given us like duplicate guys, but from unit to unit they don't do that. Now these guys are the exact same Stormtroopers that you get in the core set of Legion, so there's no difference in the poses between the core set and this expansion. But that's okay, because really 7 unique Stormtrooper sculpts, what more do you really need? So let's take a look at the unit card for these guys. Starting in the top left corner, they are of course Imperials. They cost 44 points. You get a unit of 4 Stormtroopers. This is a core unit, of which in the standard game rules you must have at least 3 of these units in your army. So these guys are going to be included for the most part in most of your Imperial armies. At least right now they are the only core unit for the Imperials available for Star Wars Legion. So you got to have, if you're going to play an 800 point game and follow the rules, you're going to need 3 units of these guys at minimum. On the upgrade bar here we can see that a Stormtrooper unit can take a heavy weapons, a personnel, an equipment, and a grenade upgrade. Down at the bottom, they have 2 weapons. They can fight unarmed, where they roll 1 black die in melee combat. And each Stormtrooper carries an E11 blaster rifle with a range of 1 to 3, rolling 1 white die for each regular Stormtrooper in the unit. White dice, of course, are the worst, but we're going to see Stormtroopers do have a way to get some hits, even though they are rolling those terrible white dice. Above that, we see that they move at speed 2. They can convert their attack surges into regular hits. They have a courage value of 1 and 1 health each, so any wound to the unit is going to kill one of the Stormtroopers. They do get to roll the red defense die, which is the best defense die in the game, and that's good, and it's a good reflection that Stormtroopers are wearing armor, even though when you watch the movies, it doesn't seem to be doing them any good. All right, and then Stormtroopers have 1 keyword on the unit, Precise 1. That means that when they spend an aim token to re-roll up to 2 dice, they get to re-roll up to 1 additional die. So that's pretty cool. So there's the way that Stormtroopers can squeeze some hits out of those white attack dice. They both convert their surges into hits, and they also get an extra re-roll when they're spending aim. So the aim action is the Stormtrooper unit's best friend. All right, now let's look at the upgrades that you get in this expansion. First up is the personnel upgrade, which is just another Stormtrooper. And it is, of course, Stormtroopers only. Add 1 Stormtrooper mini to the unit. He costs 11 points, which is what these guys cost, because for 4 of them, it is 44 points. So 11 points per Stormtrooper. This is going to get you a 5th regular Stormtrooper. Next up, we have the first of 2 heavy weapons. This is the HH-12 Stormtrooper. He costs 34 points. He has a rocket launcher, has a range of 2 to 4, rolling 3 black dice, and this does get exhausted when you attack, which means that you're going to have to use an action to re-equip him and fire again before you attack. So he's going to kind of slow the whole unit down. He's also cumbersome, which means you can't use the weapon and move during the same activation, so they have to be at a standstill, which you want to move Stormtroopers into cover and then probably leave them there for most of the game anyway. That's not such a big deal. But the attack does have impact 3, so while attacking an armored unit, they can change up to 3 hit results into critical hit results, which is great. So this is your anti-heavy vehicle special weapon trooper. Next we get the other heavy weapons. That is the DLT-19 Stormtrooper. He has a long rifle, range of 1 to 4, rolling 2 red dice. He is Stormtroopers only. And this upgrade costs 24 points. It adds this guy into the unit. And the attack has impact 1. So this attack will do a little bit of damage, change one regular hit into a crit when attacking an armored enemy. But red dice, of course, are the best in the game, and that long distance means that this unit, even if the other troopers in the unit can't make an attack, this guy might be able to take some pot shots at enemy units that are maybe not expecting it or at long range. Next, we have impact grenades. This is a new grenade not available in the core game, so if you want to get these, you need to pick up a trooper expansion. These are also available in the Rebel trooper unit expansion as well. One thing I do like about Legion a lot is they're making these unique upgrades more readily available. That if you're playing Imperials only, you're not going to need to buy Rebel expansions to get upgrades that you might want. So hopefully this trend continues. These cost 5 points. They roll 1 black die for each trooper throwing a grenade at range 1. It has impact 1. Now, it's important to note that is each grenade. So you can convert as many hits into crits when you throw these grenades as you roll. This is your anti-heavy armor grenade attack. And grenades in this game tend to be extremely useful. The concussion grenades out of the core box ignore cover, so they're great for if you need to get it up close on a trooper unit hunkered down behind cover. You can just toss grenades over and just ignore that cover. Cover in this game is super important. All right, and lastly, we do get some grappling hooks. This is an equipment upgrade costing 3 points. Gives the unit expert climber, which means that when they are clambering, going up vertical surfaces where they would normally roll dice and potentially suffer wounds, they do not have to do that. So it lets them get around vertical terrain easier than they would normally be able to do that. And that's what you get in the Stormtroopers expansion for Star Wars Legion. Now, do you need to buy one of these? I think that there's an argument to be made for Legion that instead of buying these trooper expansions and maybe the speeder bike expansion, the ATRT expansion, just pick up 2 core sets of the game. That way you will get 4 trooper expansions for each side. You'll get 2 ATRTs, you get 2 units of speeder bikes, and you will get the vehicle unique upgrades if you buy the airspeeder and the ATST. The only things that you'll miss out on by not picking up a trooper expansion are the impact grenades and the grappling hooks. And I think that impact grenades, well, they're good against armor. I'm not sure how often you're really going to run a Stormtrooper unit that close to a heavy vehicle, although it might happen, especially if you're fighting something like an airspeeder that may just be that close to the unit because they tend to move around and they have a huge footprint on the board. They may fly up and end up close enough that you can actually walk over and toss grenades at it and do a ton of damage that way. So picking up this expansion, it's going to get you those 2 cards, but everything else that you see here, the Stormtrooper, the heavy weapon guys, that all is in the core for each of the 2 Stormtrooper units in the core box, and it'll save you some money doing it that way too. So I think that it's a good argument because then on top of that, you also are going to end up with, of course, extra dice, extra movement tools, extra range ruler, all that stuff. Okay, so just a thing to think about when if you're thinking about getting into Star Wars Legion. These expansions aren't super necessary. You get almost everything out of buying 2 starters, 2 core boxes, and skipping the trooper expansions for the time being, plus a bunch of other extra stuff as well. All right, as always, thanks for watching the Cardboard Dungeon, and I'll see you next time.